Good morning, everybody. Welcome again to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, London. We're very happy to be continuing our studies of Sri Upadesamrta by Srila Rupa Goswami. And today will be up to verse number 7. We've already gone through, hopefully, we've been putting into our hearts the essential points of each verse. We had verse 1, the 6 things to control. Verse 2, the 6 things that destroy bhakti. Verse 3, the what nourishes bhakti. Verse 4, the 6 loving exchanges. Verse 5, how to properly honor devotees. And verse 6, not to find or see faults at all in the Vaishnava. So today we're coming up to verse 7, which is centered on the holy name. So we invite Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Maharaj to take over the class now and begin. I'll let him do the jais maybe. And thank you all for joining us. If you haven't already turned on your cameras, we would really love you to do that so that we can see each other, because it really does help us to feel that we're not separated so much by time and space, if we can see your faces. And if you have any questions or thoughts that have come up regarding any of the verses so far, please type them into the chat, and we would love to discuss those or hear your questions answered by Madhusudan Maharaj. Jai Vishnupada Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Srila Bhakti Rapak Srila Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Srila Rupa Goswami ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai.
And we can start with an auspicious invocation, because that is always good for us to do. So we'll begin with our Vandanam, mini Vandanam, but we're also going to specifically chant Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj's Pranam mantra too. And maybe more. Let's see where we get to start. So you can say it together. Everyone here knows it. Vandeham Shri Guru Juṣṭā Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Then we can come Guru Bhavista Supurakam Guru Ganai Rashisha Shambhushitam Chincha Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Pantanugam Vinda Bidham Ujvalam Varatanam Bhakyanvitam Sundaram Vande Vishva Gurum Shadivya Bhagavat Premno Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanam Sachantavardanam Balakashalansitam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhanta Nidim Subhakyalasitam Sarasvatanam Varam Vande Tam Subhadam Madhesharanam Yashishwaram Shri Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Virito Gauriya Kurvan Vaye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane
Yogura Sankirtana
Mayavaditi Mingilo Daragatam Udvitya Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudapigaman Asukam Pradat Prabhum Tam Bhaje Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evascha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. O Maha Varanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Vijay Namaha. So today, the importance of chanting the holy name and the miracle that it will do, the wonder that it will do. So we can say the Panchatattva Maha Mantra and then the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So we can say those together. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So our verse today, verse 7. Verse 7 is telling us the glories of the holy name and giving us much inspiration to chant the holy name of the Lord. Once we know what it is, it's not just a sound, it is a medicine and a nourishment for the upper plane. So we have the verse here on the board, and we can also all just slowly read it together at home with your microphones off. But here, so verse 7, so first of all, we give honor indeed Sri Upadesamrta ki jai and Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai. And also in our jais, we must remember Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Already, Kalikadamba has given our jais to our Guru Parampara. So Sri Upadesamrta, verse number 7, slowly together. Syāt kṛṣṇa-nāma-charitādi-sitāpy avidyāpittopatapta rasanasya na rochikā kintv ādarād anudinaṁ khalu saiva juṣṭā svādvī kramād bhavati tad-gada-mūla-hantrī. So today, we'll go through first of all, we're going to give the translation today and then the word by word, so that we've got the overall meaning first. So the translation here, I just need to get this wording. That is Syāt Krishna, yes. So the translation here is the sugar candy of Krishna's names, pastimes, and so forth, is not relishable to a tongue severely afflicted by the jaundice of ignorance. Alas! Certainly, however, when it is daily honored with faith, this candy gradually becomes sweet and eradicates the disease. And this is a translation by one of our dear devotees. And we do have Srila Prabhupada's translation too, which helps us to understand, because this is it simile? I don't know, or metaphor, not quite sure to follow it all along. This may be a little easier to catch, and that is the holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all transcendentally sweet like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one afflicted with the jaundice of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue, and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root. And often Srila Prabhupada does put a little extra into the translations, which may not be exactly in the text, but he puts that there as for our clarification within there. So the holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all transcendently sweet like sugar candy. So we've got syāt, kṛṣṇa-nāma-charitādi, character, pastimes, and so on. Sitāpy, that's sugar candy, happy, although avidya, ignorance, pitta, bile, which is all connected with jaundice. Upadesamrta, afflicted, rasanasya, of the tongue. Na, not rochikā, palatable. Nu, or oh, how wonderful it is. There's a good word for us. Nu. Kintv, but, that comes often. Ādarād, carefully. Anudinaṁ, every day, or 24 hours daily. Khalu, naturally. Sa, that sugar candy of the holy name. Then this word eva is a very common word. It means certainly. Juṣṭā, taken or chanted. Svādvī, relishable. Kramād, gradually. Bhavati, becomes. Tad-gada, of that disease. Mūla, of the root. Hantrī, destroyed. So here we have the word by word, and we have the Sanskrit verse above, but the meaning is what we're focusing on. And this again we can repeat from this version. The holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all transcendently sweet like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one afflicted by the jaundice of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue, and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root. So today I did do some homework, and I made a homework sheet for the translators, as it were, on the web. But you might notice that I then had to delete a couple of the selections I made, because when I got the sheet that you've all got at home, the course notes for this 7th verse, Upadeśāmṛta, 7th verse, I saw that what had jumped out at me, and I had found also Subhasini, she had found similar things. And so I was very happy to see that. And I made my notes first. So the translators, there are some 8 different excerpts there, but they won't all be used because some of them are right here. But Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, all of our grand super masters, they have given us this verse of Srila Rupa Goswami for our encouragement and for our direction, so that we know what we are doing when we are to take the name of the Lord. We need to take the name of the Lord with faith. Everything is based on faith. And they're pointing out this verse because Srila Rupa Goswami is showing that the holy name of the Lord, it is our medicine, and it is the nourishment for the pure souls who are already free from the disease. And the wonderful, it is wonderful that just by taking this name carefully every day, that we will be cured of our disease, and we'll get this wonderful entrance to the upper world by the grace of the residents there. So really, the best thing we can do, always really, is to take the words of our masters, to take the words of Srila Gurudev and of Srila Guru Maharaj. And so you have your notes here to read, but this is homework. When do they get this? Just before the program. So largely this is your homework. I try not to overlap and repeat this here, but what I will do, I will read for you just a little bit, not a lot of things, but for you something of the effect of chanting the holy name. And this is from Srila Guru Maharaj, and as well as what you've got on the course notes, as it were. But it is just so sweet and encouraging, and it's just to the point. By the way, again and again, we find, this is Krishna consciousness. We have Gurudev and Guru Maharaj giving some explanation. They're saying, this is Krishna consciousness. So we hear about Krishna consciousness, and I think most of us here on the course have heard the expression before. And it's very easy to say, oh, Krishna conscious, yes, we're Krishna conscious, etc. But Krishna consciousness, it's a very beautiful thing. It means being conscious of Krishna in a loving, devotional mood 24 hours a day. I mean, it is very wonderful with the promises there. So here, Srila Guru Maharaj, he is giving us some understanding what happens when we follow this path of Krishna consciousness. And the path of Krishna consciousness is based on the holy name and the sadhus who are bringing that holy name, connecting us to the upper world. So, Srila Guru Maharaj saying, whatever undesirable, ungentle, or awkward things may be within us are all brushed aside by Krishna consciousness. Whatever is interesting use of words. Whatever undesirable, ungentle, or awkward things that may be within us are all brushed aside by Krishna consciousness. As when the sun rises, all sorts of darkness retire. So, all different types of misconceptions and separate interests in the world of misunderstanding are removed by Krishna consciousness. So as the sun rises, darkness goes. So all kinds of misunderstanding, all different types of misconceptions and separate interests in the world of misunderstanding here are removed by Krishna consciousness. When we successfully march according to the universal interest of the whole, that is, Krishna consciousness of the Absolute, when we throw ourselves into Krishna consciousness, then so many forms of misconception and layers of separate consciousness retire. When we prepare ourselves and then throw ourselves into the universal flow, all selfish agents have to retire once and for all. They cannot find any of their interests in the ocean of Krishna consciousness. It is so harmonizing, so forceful, so accommodating, and so purifying that nothing can stand against it. And just 5 words. Hridyantaha stohya bhadrani. And again, Guru Maharaj using this word ungentle. He says, no ungentle things can have any stand in our hearts. Krishna himself and his agents are wandering here, there, and everywhere. And they won't tolerate that those dedicated to Krishna will again be influenced or captured by the unholy agents of the world of misunderstanding. This is very hopeful for us. There are so many, as Guru Maharaj said, we have so many hidden guardians. We are all thinking in bodily consciousness, but there are so many hidden guardians who see everything. They do see everything. We know it from Gurudev. We know it from Guru Maharaj. So knowing all this, so surrender to Krishna, taking his name. This is the very theme of today. By chanting the name carefully every day, then Krishna consciousness will come to you. The taste, the desire will awaken, and we will become healthy with our taste and our nature also. So take his name. So surrender to Krishna, taking his name with the mood, I am yours. None will venture to approach the property of Krishna. If we surrender, Krishna, I am yours, then we become Krishna's property. So nobody is going to come and steal Krishna's property. But if we think I'm mine, oh, well, they may steal what we think is our property. So surrender, thinking, I am yours. Then none will venture to approach the property of Krishna. The Absolute is all forceful, and none can challenge him or his authority. Surrender to Krishna. None can encroach on his property. It is a self-evident thing. So it is a self-evident thing. It is not remote. If it's Krishna's property, nobody can dare to come to take that. So we have to make ourselves Krishna's property. We should be his properties, because we are not, then, next, just another 7 or 8 lines. Anyone can come and try to forcefully capture and take possession of you, but none will venture to capture Krishna's property. So surrender and take the name of the Lord. I am yours. I do not belong to anyone but you, my Lord. Wholesale, I belong to you. This is exclusive Krishna consciousness. And again, the thinking, I belong to none but you, my Lord. Even I do not belong to myself. The ego of separate interest must be dissolved. And then you will find, I am Krishna's. I belong to Krishna. My inner self belongs to Krishna. It is only this outer ego that thinks, I am the master of this world, the monarch of all I survey. So this, a few words from Srila Guru Maharaj about Krishna consciousness and how to take the name. And sweetest, all these things. And by the way, if anyone doesn't know what is jaundice, jaundice is, maybe it's a type, I'm not a doctor, maybe it's a type of hepatitis, but in India we've seen actually many times, because there's often water pollution and it's spread by water pollution, but the eyes go yellow, around the eyes goes very yellow, and whatever other symptoms, but one symptom is if you take something sweet, if somebody gives you Mahaprasad, sweet from the deity, and you take it, the taste of any sweet, we shouldn't really say Mahaprasad, but our taste of sugar, of anything sweet, when you have jaundice, it tastes bitter. And your mind knows it's a sweet. They're not coming to cheat you, to give you something which tastes bitter. You know you're being given a sweet, but you can't relish it. But jaundice, in the traditional Indian way of medicine, the medicine for jaundice, or very helpful for curing jaundice, is sugar, sugar cane, sugar candy, in direct sugar. And so anyone knows, if you get sugar, well, maybe everyone doesn't know if you're living in places where you don't have sugar cane, but sugar cane in India is quite common, and on the side of the street, in very hygienic environment, they are grinding with, or by hand before, now electric machines or diesel machines, they are squashing through rollers that sugar cane, and then coming out is pure sugar candy, sugar juice. And so everybody knows who's healthy. That is very relishable. And so sugar is sweet, but to a jaundiced person, it is tasting bitter. but it is helpful for their recovery, the very medicine for their recovery. And so their doctor will tell them, you must take this every day, however many times a day. And in this way, we are being told we must take the name every day, 24 hours a day, and often so many times, but trying to constantly take the name. And in the beginning, it may not be tasteful and very attractive to take more and more. We're taking out of duty because the doctor says so. But this example is given so that in this world, we need some comparison. We need something to see, okay, this is the effect of chanting the holy name. It will wake up our relish for the sweetness of the name and the discussions of the pastimes, etc. of the Lord. So just to clarify about jaundice and why the sugar candy is being used as an example for the chanting of the holy name. So it's helpful to know that side at least.
We just have a question. Barnaby Diddy is asking, could you repeat the last part? But I'm not sure exactly which part.
the last part.
She said it's no.
Now it's clear. Okay.
Yeah, she's okay.
And if something is not clear, you can type a message in the box because they're looking after the messages. So please do type a message in the box. I'm not looking after the message. Yes, my next excerpt, by the way, well, I already deleted one excerpt because it's exactly on the course sheet. The next excerpt is also on the course sheet, but I'm almost tempted to also read a little bit of it. It is your homework. It's this exact same theme. You see, it's chanting the holy name. We are being given direction of how to chant the holy name. Just like the doctor gives medicine, and he gives direction of how to take that medicine and what diet, what exercise. You know, generally there's something attached to a medicine. And so we are being given the mood in which to chant the holy name. And we want as many good tips as we can on our journey. I just want to come to this part. So for the translators, it's excerpt 5, and just a little bit down. Okay, I'm just going to read from here. It won't be long. I'm not going to read too much because you must read at home. But here we are. This is, yes, Srila Guru Maharaj. As much as Krishna consciousness will take possession of our heart, all will have to retire automatically. So he's been talking about the material, unwanted things. All those things will have to retire automatically. They will have no other alternative. That's kind of good to know. Mm-hmm. Our Guru Maharaj, so this is Srila Sridhar Maharaj, our Guru Maharaj, referring to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his Guru Maharaj. Our Guru Maharaj, so Bhagavan Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, said, only allow Krishna consciousness to enter the land of your heart, and Krishna consciousness will capture the whole thing. None can stand against him in any fight. So this is a similar theme elsewhere. And then Srila Guru Maharaj saying, Krishna consciousness is so generous, so broad, so powerful, so heart-touching, that none can stand against him when he wants to capture someone, because every place is his home. When we feel home comfort, affectionate home assurance, all else will have to retire. Such is Krishna consciousness. So today is a Krishna conscious day. But you see all of the build-up that Srila Rupa Goswami has given, our foundation and our conduct which includes our conduct with the devotees, is now coming to this realm where with proper foundation, the proper restrictions, the proper doings, what we do, and especially in relation to the devotees, now we've come to this understanding of the name of Krishna and what is Krishna consciousness. So such is Krishna consciousness. All proposals from all different prospects of life will have to retire forever when Krishna consciousness enters into us in any part. It is such. So it is such. He is such a real, homely Lord of our heart. When he comes, all foreigners have to go away. No other alternative is there. Hare Krishna. Oh, anyway, oh, so beautiful. Such is Krishna consciousness. Love, sympathy, ownness is his weapon. He is saying, I am your own, so much your own, that you have never experienced that anyone can so deeply become your own. This is the path of Krishna consciousness. We are chanting the holy name to cure our disease, so we can be allowed entrance back in our loving home of sweetness, beauty, charm. This theme which always Gurudev and Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada are coming to stress to us. There's more on the sheet. We are an advert for the sheet, so you can read some more a little bit later on. Hare Krishna. I do have a quote for yesterday. While reading today, as always, we get a little carried away when we're looking for things. But I came across this beautiful expression of how Srila Guru Maharaj goes into the voice of another, sometimes Krishna's voice, for instance, when he's explaining verses in Bhagavad Gita. And here in Rupa Goswami's voice about yesterday's verse, which is not to see any fault in the devotees, just like bubbles and foam and mud seen in the Ganges, but the Ganges water is pure. That's yesterday's verse. But I did come across this, very beautiful. This is Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj. This is Srila Govinda Maharaj. And he is saying, in his Upanishad, in his Sri Upadesamrta, which we are going through, in the 6th verse, Srila Rupa Goswami gave a standard and sweet explanation of our vision of a surrendered soul. So when a devotee is a surrendered soul, by definition, devote means devotee, surrendered soul. So then Srila Gurudev quotes that verse of yesterday, juṣṭā svabhava janitaya vapuṣascha doshaya, which we chanted yesterday. But here, Srila Gurudev, this is Srila Govinda Maharaj, as Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev would go into the voice of who is giving the verse. It's not just an academic repetition or something. And Srila Gurudev, he says, Srila Rupa Goswami smilingly said, oh boy, though you are unqualified, don't be fickle-minded. We got our fickle-minded. Don't be fickle-minded. Never hesitate to give honor to the Vaishnava. You must try to understand that the pure nature of the Vaishnava is like the pure nature of the Ganges water. Oh, sorry, the pure nature of the Ganges. There's a full stop. Water is everywhere, but Ganges water is Ganges water. Ganges water comes down from Lord Vishnu's lotus feet, and it is fully transcendental. Ganges water is never polluted by dirty things. Many dirty things may appear in the Ganges, but Ganges water is still Ganges water. It never loses its transcendental quality. You must give honor to the Ganges in this way, and you should give honor to the Vaishnavas in the same way. And Gurudev actually continues, because he's still expressing this to Rupa Goswami. And this is Rupa Goswami's voice, you can say, coming through Gurudev. The Vaishnava is to be considered pure in the way the Ganges is always considered pure. A devotee may fall down, or you may see him fall down. But where he may fall down to, and where he has gone up to, you do not know. That's not we don't know. We can't see that. You are only seeing him with your vision. Only up to that point of your vision are you able to see him. Okay, here exactly. You do not know his actual position. If he has pure devotion, you must not dishonor him, and you must not make offense to him. You should always consider him pure, even if his body is filled with itching boils and diseases, or his behavior appears improper. So this is a little addition to yesterday. And then just one more line. Srila Gurudev says, this is Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu's explanation of how to view a devotee of the Lord. So I know it's a step to yesterday, but especially when Gurudev giving that like affectionate mood, he's saying, Srila Rupa Goswami smilingly said, oh boy, though you are unqualified, don't be fickle-minded. Never hesitate to give honor to the Vaishnavas. Jai. Yes, there's a hand here on my left.
Anu Krishna Devi has a question.
Acha, there's a question in front of me here. Anu Krishna Devi Rasik.
On the 4th page, it mentions the 10 kinds of offences against the name mentioned in the Padma Purana. And I wanted to find out how we can identify which one or all 10 of the offences we're making, and who can point that out to us, or whether we can do it for ourselves.
Yes.
Did everyone hear the question? Just wanted to check the microphone. Yeah, repeat the question, please.
Okay, so the question came up a little softly because the devotees are very humble. The question came up that on the course note sheet, then on the 4th page is some mention of the 10 offenses to the holy name, because of course we're being guided how to chant the holy name. Learn the 10 offenses and avoid them. So how to identify which of the offenses we may be making and how to correct them, perhaps. So we can probably safely say we're making 10 offenses, we're making offense in some percentage to each of the 10 offenses. And Srila Gurudev would say that we are chanting the name and we are not getting what we are promised will happen if we avoid the offenses. So we understand we are making offense to the holy name. But first of all, then the next hopeful point is, but offenses against the holy name, those offenses themselves are washed away by continuing to chant the holy name, trying to do correctly, trying to avoid those 10 offenses. And so, of course, the exception, which is well known, is the very first one, which maybe here, I don't know, but repeatedly is given, that we must give much attention to the first offense, not to make any offense to the Vaishnavas. Why? Because Krishna, he can overlook offenses that come to him easily, but not offenses to those who are dear to him. And so we must go to those who are dear to him if we made the offense. So we must always be careful about that first offense against the Vaishnavas. And that focus is always there. And then we've got 9 more offenses. Now, those 9 other offenses we can consider that by chanting the holy name, trying to do everything properly in a substantial way, then the holy name himself, the holy name is the Lord in sound form. And he will be merciful and he can take away those offenses. So how will we analyze ourselves? First of all, we must be honest, honest with ourselves. We may cheat others, but we should not. I mean, that tendency, you might be able to fool somebody else, but don't fool yourself. We should not fool ourselves. It is not an act. It is guidance for our conception. Conception means how we think, what we do. So we must be honest with ourselves. And we know we've got errors, we're making offenses to the name. So we should try to see one by one, by one, by one. And as with many things, if we do the opposite, if we try to focus on the opposite of the offense, then that glorious attempt to do the pure thing will automatically push away the unglorious offense to the holy name. Just like the name itself, like the sun rising and all the inauspicious things go away. If we do the right thing, then we don't have to only think, where is the borderline of the wrong thing? We try to go firmly on the right side. So we had 3 verses about the devotees. So when we see that first offense of the holy name, what should we try to do? Try to give absolute honor to all devotees. We don't know who is who. And from our side, we will give honor. And whatever nature of the body or nature of their mind, that's their matter, not our matter. But there's a devotee there, and we will give honor. And then the next offense, the next offense, the next offense, and each one we should see the offense, but do the opposite and focus there. So we must think, am I doing the opposite? Do I really, for instance, we've been hearing the glories of the holy name. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th offense is to consider the glories of the holy name are an exaggeration. And so many glories we are getting of the holy name. So if we think that, that's a lot, maybe it's counting more than the effect. But that is our wrong thinking, because we are told that with the words of this world, we cannot sufficiently give glories to the holy name. The holy name is Krishna himself, and Krishna himself is beyond us, our limited intelligence, and Krishna can do anything. His holy name, Krishna, in his holy name, can do anything and everything, and he can immediately vanquish everything from the past. So any of these offenses, that offense, we will put that firmly in our mind. The pure name of Krishna is Krishna himself. This is how he's manifested, especially in Kali Yuga. In other ages, it was the worship, the grand worship of the deity, etc. But in Kali Yuga specifically, it is the name of the Lord. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam. This verse, which we see repeated many, many times, maybe here, not sure, but where the only way in Kali Yuga is to chant the names of the Lord. And then we've got these 10 offenses, one by one, be honest with ourselves and make ourselves, chastise ourselves to go in the right direction, so that we don't see anything which is not the opposite of the holy name, in every sense, in everyone. With self-analysis, Gurudev liked that and encouraged us not just to do it on New Year's Eve. It is Sautamama, is it that? Sautamani. So there's a name for like self-analysis. So we balance the books at the end of the year. The businessmen, they try to balance the books at the end of the year. But we will look at our own minus and plus and try to balance our books every evening. This way, Guru is saying. So it is good. But we must learn the 10 offenses. Ask you now to tell the 10 offenses. But everybody here, online and here in the room, should not be fearful that maybe Madhusudan Maharaj is going to ask me, what are the 10 offenses? We should be immediately ready, because that's what Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, and all have told. The first thing when you get your beads, learn the 10 offenses and avoid them. If we haven't learned them, how can we really be conscious daily to avoid them? And that's very similar to the 6 urges to control, the 6 items that will destroy your devotional service. We should try to know these automatically, not as a school exercise to learn all the dates of the different battles, etc., in the history books, but to learn them as our direction of our everyday life, whether we are walking on the street, whatever we are doing. We are always willing, feeling, and thinking. And it's the nature of life. Matter is just sitting there. But willing, feeling, and thinking is the nature of life. The soul is life. And we're always doing something. We're always active. So we've got guidance of how to be active. So we will try to know the 10 offenses to the name. Then we can scrutinize what are we doing, what we do. We should know the 6 urges to control. It doesn't say that you don't have the urges. It says the urges are there, but we need to have control. Human life is meant for control. Animals, they are already controlled what they eat, when they mate. All these things, it's within the DNA of the animal. They don't have, to read a book of what is civilized life. But we have much freedom. With that freedom, we have a responsibility. So anyway, this point, that one reason why we've been asked to try to give a little attention to Upadeśāmṛta is because we want to be successful as devotees. Our masters want us to be successful as devotees, and we need to always keep reminding us of the ABC, and then the letters, and then the straightforward sentences, and then, as we've heard today several times, if not many times, remind ourselves what is Krishna consciousness that we have come for. And nu, we learned this word today, a great wonder. Oh, how wonderful it is that just by constantly taking this medicine carefully every day, hence avoiding the 10 offenses, and with that mood of saiva, the mood of service, with all of these things and these tips which are given to us, then with great wonder, the beautiful things will happen. We will become healthy in our consciousness, healthy in our mind. Mm-hmm. And as the light sheds away the darkness also, today I heard it from Guru Maharaj, but in person, but I saw something similar in black and white as I was getting carried away reading different things. But one is that as we become healthy, then it's like the fog is lifting. When we are in the material world with all the gunas, the material modes of nature, Guru Maharaj explains, it's like we are trying to see through fog. We're trying to see reality through like a thick fog, and then maybe the fog will get thinner. But as we take the medicine, we'll find that that fog clears from our eyes, and then we will be able to see wonderful things. And here we've got that encouragement, beautiful, sweet things, and sweet, sweet, sweetness, the very food of consciousness. This is the journey. So, great wonder that the chanting of the holy name can have such an effect. Believe it, it's not exaggeration. Yes, okay. Try it. Hare Krishna. And by the way, we're very happy. Here in Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math, London, the devotees are getting up early, bathing, coming with a tilak, everything. And they're chanting, yes, 1 hour and more than 1 hour before Mangalati. So we come together. It is helpful to come to be with others when you chant. What's the problem? Yeah. And so coming to chant the holy name as we've been given to. Give some time to chant the holy name. And we are happy that this is happening. And this morning was almost warm enough to be outside, but a bit chilly. But the summer is coming. We can put some mat outside also and chant. We have beautiful Tulsi house, which is also a great inspiration. Beautiful Tulsi, looked after. Questions or hands all around.
Oh.
The hands are competing with humility with each other.
Well, we had a something to share from Saiva Rupadidi, but before we did, we just wanted to see if there's any devotee out there that's learnt one of the verses that might want to impress everybody.
I think
Oh,
Devananda Prabhu.
Oh yes,
Devananda Prabhu. Could you come?
Come and share one of the
Please,
verses.
please.
Vachu Vegam.
Dacha Vegam.
Manasa Krodha.
It's all right.
Okay.
My emphasis is, if you please learn the meaning of the verses. And yes, I understand that if we did go through on the first day, but realize that we can't really try to learn the Sanskrit so acutely, word by word, in a short time that we have each time. But that first verse, it is easier to understand. The Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam. So it kind of, it is a little easier to understand, but you can see from this verse we're doing today, it's not always so straightforward for us to, while we are saying the verse, catch the meaning. And catching the meaning is what it's all about. But yes, I know that there's more feeling, more everything. All these things are in the verses, and not to neglect that. But we do need to try to be conscious of the meaning. By the way, I also came across something else about that first verse, Vacho Vegam, which we were asking just now, devotee to share. I can share these words with you too. It's Srila Gurudev. I can find it. Again, always giving encouragement. Okay, so this is Srila Gurudev speaking. It's short. It won't take a long time. But this is going back to the basics, And that is the first verse of controlling the urges, the 6 urges, where we began and where we have to always keep remembering our first verse, second verse, third verse, all of these items. So Srila Gurudev is saying, you are fortunate to be connected with such knowledge. Somehow or other, you have received some experience and inspiration, and that is why you have come here. And you are trying to increase your mood of devotion as much as possible. Many devotees constantly feel disturbances from many things. From within themselves, they are subject to kama, krodha, moha, mada, matsarya, lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and jealousy. The only way to gain relief from such a position has been given by Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu. Then Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Uddara Pashta Vegam. Etan veganyo vishahete diraha sarvam apimang pritivingsa shishyat. So just a little bit. Gurudev is saying, it is necessary to try to control these tendencies within us, and it is only possible through service. When the mood of eternal service to Krishna will reveal itself in our heart, then everything else will leave us. At that time, our intention will always be directed only for the service of Sri Guru Vaishnava. The scriptures say, everyone's quiet, so I'm going to keep on reading. The scriptures say, sadhu sangha, the devotee association, the sadhu's association. And okay, then Gurudev says, a sadhu is one who is a perfect servitor. A sadhu is one who is a perfect servitor. He is always engaged in service to Krishna with his full energy. One who has no desire for himself or anything except service to Krishna, he is a real sadhu. I could read you more. We have lots of books. I can keep on reading. But anyway, Srila Gurudev does give more, but we must try to constantly, not like sometimes, we must constantly try to walk the path, go along the path which is being given to us by our great masters, grand masters. Hare Krishna. And there's another question here on my left.
No, it's not a question, but I just wanted to share a message to you from Saiva Rupa.
Oh, yes.
Didi.
Yes.
And she says, Dandavat, glory. You have to picture her smiling face. Dandavat, glorious Maharaj, and all glorious devotees, expressing my gratitude for these inconceivably beautiful and nourishing teachings of our sincerest, greatest masters, and to all the organizers, servitors, and devotees. So there you go. But we wanted to say to her, thank you very much for Saiva Rupa behind the scenes has actually been coordinating enrollment for the courses at the Bhakti Yoga Institute here. And she's super efficient, super dedicated, super sweet in her responses that she sends out, and it's just been really joyous to be attempting to savor with her. So thank you, Saiva Rupa.
The Saiva team in the background, all glories to you all. Jai. And by the way, because it's so relevant to Anna Krishna's question too, I just want to read a little bit more from Srila Gurudev, just directly continuing from what I read just now. But the scriptures say, sadhu sangha, who is a sadhu, engaged fully in the Lord's service. Then Srila Gurudev quotes from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ataiva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakala Ashanta. And that's one of these Bengali verses that we can pretty much relate to every word. Gurudev saying, Ashanta means people who are always disturbed by the illusory environment. Everyone knows Shanti, 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 Om, like peacefulness. So that's Shanti. Ashanta, disturbed. So Ashanta means people who are always disturbed by the illusory environment. However, one can automatically get relief from the reactions of his bad activities if he can have no desire for his own purpose, but can constantly try to give satisfactory service to Sadhu, Guru, and Vaishnava. Many of our friends, this is Gurudev continues, many of our friends always feel disturbances from their mundane activities, but they can control them very easily. The method is to try very intensively and exclusively to engage themselves in service to Guru and the Vaishnavas. Such service goes directly to Krishna. If they try in that way, they will get relief from the illusory environment. This is Gurudev. So always we are wanting relief, many things come, but we have many places where the only relief is this. So we're being guided, we're being helped by the guides. We are sharing that, we are pointing to that. And let us try to help each other in such a journey.
Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki
Jai.
Hare Krishna. I am a servant. And so we are here to serve, and we appreciate every one of you. Yes, now we're going to see, oh, why I see myself. Oh dear. Here we can see you. We'll turn that to. All right, dear devotees, Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. There are 5 chats in the chat box. Now I'm keen to wonder what's in the chat box. Hare Krishna. All right, dear ones. My goodness, we have a very clear screen here. You're all very clear. The men nicely shaved. Everyone looking. So much detail from your. Not all the men. Radharaman Prabhu, Naza, Gauranatha Rashu. Oh, maybe not all the men nicely shaved.
Jagannath.
Jagannath Prabhu from France. Okay, but I said I won't mention names because I'm going to miss somebody out. But glorious to see you all. I've got you now here on my screen here too, very happily. And may we just progress day by day. And please don't neglect these. I know you didn't get paper in the mail, but you got it in another mail, your digital mail. Don't neglect these sheets. They're wonderful. And I'm also, I have witnesses before the program. I'm asking myself the questions from yesterday, and I'll also ask myself the questions later on from today. So please don't neglect these sheets. They're very helpful. And again, much appreciation. These coming from Subhasini Devi Rasi, who will be here somewhere on one of our screens. And appreciation to you all. And as I say, my encouragement to read them. It's not just we get something. It's so easy to get lots of things and not give attention. But in the morning, you can get up 1 hour earlier for your japa and gayatri. You can get up another 15 minutes earlier and give yourself some revision of Upadeśāmṛta. How about?
Jai.
All right. Jai to our masters. I'm going to be ready for some water in a moment. Jai to our grand masters. Om Vishnupad Srila Gurudev Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. So Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Om Vishnupad Srila Guru Maharaj Srila Bhakti Rochikā Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Srila Prabhupada Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. And Om Vishnupad Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. And to our whole Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. To Srila Rupa Goswami ki Jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Sri Upadeśāmṛta ki Jai. To all the scripture everywhere ki Jai. The devotional scriptures. And Jai. Tulsi Devi ki Jai. Mentioning Tulsi, beautiful greenhouse here with Tulsi looked after so nicely. Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. And all the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.